Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back to the 2020 NOSSCAR Super GT Series. Hosted here on Gran Turismo Sport, started back in 2019, just last year. Bill Baldwin, champion from last year, is on a hot streak here in 2020. Opens the season with a win at Laguna Seca. Now, folks, we're on to round two. Fuji International Speedway. Another challenge and another chapter in the books for these NOSSCAR Super GT Series drivers. Ever since NOSSCAR's come to Gran Turismo, we've seen challengers from all over the world come and partake in these NOSSCAR Series. GR3 cars, GR1, Super Formula, you name it. Some names have stood out. Some new faces have come in and stolen the show. We've seen hometown and home nation triumphs. We've seen underdog stories. We've seen first-time winners. We've seen it all. What will we see here tonight at Fuji International Speedway? I say that we find out together. It's round two of the 2020 NOSSCAR Super GT Series, right here on the NOSSCAR Series Racing YouTube channel and hosted on Gran Turismo Sport.
Okay.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are live and set. 13 drivers ready to take the green flag from 3 different countries, folks. Argentina, Canada, and the United States all being represented here in round 2 of the 2020 NOSSCAR Super GT Series season, hosted right here on Gran Turismo Sport. Drivers from Brazil and Great Britain and the United States all attempted to qualify their way into this race, and the top 13 advanced and beat the minimum speed required, and here they are, folks. They're ready to put on a show for you. 18 drivers attempted to qualify, 13 of them set to take the green flag. The green lights are on at Fuji, and we are underway. We are racing, folks. Defending champion Bill Baldwin is on the pole, but it's Pac-Man taking over the lead, and he's going to floor it through turn 1. JRB goes off course there, and he's going to lose a number of positions. They're all stacked up double file through the first couple of corners. Pac-Man, Bill Baldwin, Fran Marsh, the top 3. Jay Nutt in 4th out of the United States. Timac from Canada running in 5th. They're side by side now for that position. Jay Nutt runs him off the racetrack. There was contact made there, and Timac comes back on, and there's still more contact made. They were 3 wide. Loaded Banana there out of Canada, running in 6th. He had a front row seat for it. He was one of the drivers that was 3 wide, and this has went from good to bad in a hurry for Timac, back into the 7th position. And this is where all the action is, folks. Argentina's Fran Marsh has worked his way up into the 2nd position, and he did that by passing the defending champion here in the NOSSCAR Super GT Series. And whenever you can pass Bill Baldwin in one of these GR1 cars, you've really accomplished something, folks. Back to the melee in the mid-pack region. JRB runs in 4th. Timac has worked his way back around Loaded Banana and Jay Nutt to work his way into 5th. Juicy J has taken the 7th position from Jay Nutt, and Jay is going to have to kill that penalty heading into the next turn. He's got Bugaboo looking to the inside, and I love the look of that GR1 car. Really low to the ground, old school, baby. Vintage GR1 prototype coming into the show. And J-Nut got all sorts of better shape over there in that turn, and Loaded Banana from Canada spun there, and he's going to lose a number of positions. There you see him. He was over in the grass. And Bug Boo out of the United States just complimenting him on the nice Mazda that he brought to the show, and he went off course there. Now back into ninth. Bowman Nation in the 2011 Audi R8 has squeaked his way through, now runs in eighth. Jay Nutt has made contact with a number of cars since the start of this one, including Ty-Mac and Juicy J and Bug Boo and others, and now runs in seventh, makes a hard aggressive move to the inside of Juicy J. And way too aggressive, as you can see. He overdrove the corner just to get the position on Juicy, and now Juicy J long gone, running in sixth. Defending NOSSCAR champion on Supercross, Juicy J is also a former NOSSCAR champion on the NASCAR 15 game. Races full-time in the NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series and NOSSCAR Motormaster Series over on NASCAR Heat 5, and he's got quite the legacy for himself here in NOSSCAR. Another former NOSSCAR champion on NASCAR 15 is this man, Ty-Mac, running in fifth, and he's gaining ground on the Argentinian driver of Fran Marsh, who's also running the Audi R8 2011, and that was close. There was nearly contact made between the two, but they're going to stay single file. Ty-Mac tucks in behind him right now. That's the battle for fourth. Pac-Man is the leader. Has gotten his way around Bill Baldwin ever since the start of this one. Bill now works his way back up into second. We missed it, but JRB was able to pass Fran Marsh to take the third position, and now this is the closest battle for position towards the lead pack, and that is the Argentinian and the Canadian, Fran Marsh and Ty-Mac. The American driver of Juicy J closing in on both of them. Kind of what the battle for the lead looks like. You saw it a moment ago there. And Ty-Mac goes to the inside of Fran Marsh into this swinging right-hander that comes, that's the final turn. That's the corner that completes a lap here at the Fuji International Speedway, and he was unable to complete the pass and stay in front of Fran Marsh, but he's definitely close enough to utilize the draft and maybe make a move and outbreak him going into turn one. Oh, they're flying up on turn one. And he did just that, but he maybe didn't get to the brakes quite soon enough. Now he clears Fran Marsh going into the next corner. And Fran's going to settle into P5 right now behind the Canadian Ty-Mac. There's quite the battle there. And Juicy J not too far behind either one of them. We'll have to see if Ty-Mac can get away from Fran and perhaps run down the top three. The thing is, folks, these drivers are used to 1 hour endurance races. This season we have 15-minute races. And these GR1 cars with balance of power settings, no tuning at all to these cars, and prototype GR1 cars only. So it's mostly all about the driver's skill. There are certain cars that benefit certain tracks. For example, the Audi R8 2016 definitely has an acceleration advantage and therefore benefits at the tracks that are not so tight and windy and full of turns. And then, for example, the Toyota TS030, like Bill Baldwin is driving, corners really, really well, but gives up a little bit of power to cars like the Audi and the Porsche. So certain tracks do complement certain cars just a little bit, but really does come down to the driver's skill for the most part, and we're going to see a whole lot of driver skill between Pac-Man and Bill Baldwin here if the lap times stay the way they are, because little by little every single lap Bill is chipping away at Pac-Man's lead. This most recent time by 0.3 of a second quicker than his good buddy Pac-Man. Good friends off the racetrack. These two practice and they race each other for fun in the sport mode competition all the time here at Gran Turismo Sport. And Pac-Man, of course, the 2020 NOSSCAR GT Cup Series champion. First ever NOSSCAR championship, driving those GR3 cars with balance of power settings, no tuning to the cars either. So very much all about the driver skill in that series as well. And first ever championship for him. He was very proud of that. And He knows that he's got the defending Super GT Series champion behind him running in second, so he's trying to find every little bit of speed that he can. He's using every bit of this racetrack, and he's also trying to break the draft down the front straightaway now. As you can see, Bill Baldwin was not trying to do the snake effect with him and kind of follow him anywhere. He's just kind of minding his own business and cruising, knowing that he's catching him, and he's catching him at a rate where he's got enough time to get him. JRB runs in third. Timac still running in fourth, but Fran Marsh out of Argentina still not giving up. He's right there running in fifth, having a great race. Tried to qualify his way into the first round and did not quite do it. And a little bit of a slip there, and he's going to lose a bit more ground to Timac, and now he's falling into the clutches of Juicy J. Juicy J opened the 2020 season with a 5th place finish at Laguna Seca and qualified his way into the show and was able to finish in the top 5 there. Great way to start your 2020 Super GT Series campaign, and would love to add another top 5 to that to his season here, but he's going to have to get around the Argentinian phenom of Fran Marsh. And Loda Banana out of Canada, running in 7th. He started inside the top 5 and he was running there for a bit, but it was a bit of a wild, chaotic start. Fell back to the 6th position and lost a couple of more since then. Has been able to rally back from the 9th position all the way to 7th, so we'll have to see where he winds up in this one. He doesn't have too much time left, but see how far he can get. It's doubtful that he's going to run down the top 3, maybe even the top 4, but time will tell. Bowman Nation runs in the 8th position, former NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series race winner over on NASCAR Heat 3 back in the 2018 season. It's been a little while since he's found victory lane in an NOSSCAR race, and he's come close a couple of times already this season in the NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series on Tuesdays on the NASCAR Heat 5 game. That old school vintage Mazda of Bugaboo still continuing to have issues. He goes off course and nose first into the wall over there. And it's certainly going to affect the handling and the wear and tear on his tires even more. And there's Crazy Legs running in 10th, gaining ground on him rapidly. And Mucka not too far behind either one of them, running in the 11th position. Shadow runs in 12th. 13 drivers started this race. 18 drivers from 5 different countries attempted to qualify their way into this one. And 13 drivers from 3 countries started the race itself, and 12 left on the racetrack. The race leader is Pac-Man, coming up to put a lap on Mucka, and this will leave 10 cars on the lead lap. We are over halfway through this race. We're watching a heck of a battle here for the win and for the lead here at Fuji International Speedway. Pac-Man doing everything he can to hold off his good buddy Bill Baldwin. He knows how skilled Bill is in these GR1 cars, so it's not going to be an easy task. He knows that, but if anybody can do it, it's Pac-Man. A lot of people don't really know about Pac-Man, but he's been with us for quite a while here in NOSSCAR on the Gran Turismo Sport video game, and he's been slowly, methodically getting better and improving his speed and his driving over the course of time. He was known for finishing in the top 5 and on the podium regularly, and now he's become known as a driver to be a threat for the win each and every single race. Been no different here today at Fuji International Speedway, round 2 of the 2020 NOSSCAR Super GT Series season. He's led a lot of laps. He qualified in the 2nd position. Was quickly able to work his way around Bill Baldwin going into turn 1 on lap 1, and since then he's never looked back. He opened up a sizable gap on Fran Marsh from Argentina, who was running in the 2nd position. And later in the race, here you see Bill Baldwin has slowly been chipping away at the gap that Pac-Man has built. And is he going to run out of time and finish second to his good buddy Pac-Man, or is Pac-Man going to slip up and is Bill going to pounce? Coming out of the final turn for the final time, there's no slip for Pac-Man. Bill Baldwin trying to use the draft. He's not going to quite get there. Pac-Man wins round 2 here at Fuji International Speedway. What a drag race to the line that was between these two. Bill Baldwin is going to pick up the second position. JRB will finish on the podium yet again to start the season 2 times in a row. Timac 4th, Juicy J in 5th. Fran Marsh from Argentina will finish in 6th. Loaded Banana in 7th out of Canada. Bowman Nation 8th out of the United States. Crazy Legs and Mucka from the US will round out the rest of the top 10. 18 drivers from 5 countries attempted to qualify their way into the show. 13 from 3 countries started the race itself, and when it was all said and done, it was Pac-Man picking up his first win of the season here in the NOSSCAR Super GT Series. We hope you enjoyed the show and join us for round 3 coming up from Circuit to Barcelona, Catalunya. Good night, everybody.